Hello guys, it's here. So this video will be about Blight. I know this is the third video that I make about Blight, but this one is like the endgame, like the very high difficulty but also very rewarding versions of it. The setup itself is not new. I think the first one we used it is Milky PK with Scarab of Blooming, and this is what I farmed like for the last few days, buying all the stuff that I need. It's a very profitable strat but have a very high difficulty. So let's talk about the setup first, and let's talk about the strategy more after that. And for the maps, we are using T16.5, not an 8 mod, we're going to use 6 mod. So we're basically looking for 140% currency and some decent quantity, something like 120% plus. And the way I do it is basically I'm just rolling it with Scour and Alchemy. If I get the currency, then I will exalt slam them to get the quantity to make them 6 mod basically. And of course you don't have to do that one. Exalted is just a lot faster, but it's not very cost efficient. So you can just do it with Scour and Alchemy. It's not that hard to roll. One trick you can do with the map is, for me, I like to block the dangerous mod from the maps, even though I'm using Scarab of Race. And the reason for that one, because the mod that you get from Scarab of Race is not amplified by your Atlas. For example, if you have a mod on your maps, like 100% more life, when you go into the map, the actual number will go up from 100 to like 170 or maybe 200, depending on how much increased acceleration modifier you have on your Atlas. But if the mod coming from Scarab of Race, it doesn't get that amplification, so it will remain 100% more life. This doesn't mean the mod is not dangerous, but you can make it less dangerous that way. And for the Scarab, I'm using 1 Blight, 1 Invigorations, 1 Blooming, and 2 Scarab of Race. The Blooming is the one that Milky can make a video about. It seems like for the Blooming, if the lane have a boss, which is going to have a different icon on the Blight, it seems like when the lane itself have that icon or have a Blight boss inside that lane, you will get a lot more monster or like maybe some extra wave. My guess is like you get an extra wave because I don't see much of a difference early on, but you will see a little bit more different when the Blight boss started coming out. So you probably get like additional wave. That's why Scarab of Blooming can give a lot of monster. And for the Atlas 3, this is Atlas 3 that I'm using. I'm not using Kalgur. And the reason for that one, because I tried with Kalgur, the beast, but I don't think it's adding that much. I know it add modifier, it should make the Blight drop a lot more loot, but based on my testing, I don't really see that big of a difference because I do a lot of maps without Kalgur, and I do like quite a lot of maps too with Kalgur. Like I don't see a significant difference, and Kalgur require a lot of point on the map, so I just don't like it. I rather just put the point on like the map node and the Scarab nodes, because map and Scarab is still a big contribution in terms of profit. And for the map device, I suggest the quantity of item found. That will add like 8% extra quantity, which is nice. So I do 20 maps of this, and this is the result. Quite a lot of currency. I think significantly more than the previous strategy. So this is a breakdown. We got few Scarabs. Like when you see the Scarab, it's not that much. This is because I filter out most of them. I only pick out Scarab that have like at least 1 or 2 C, I think. There's a few Scarab here that fall in price, like Duplicate and Hurt. I think it's like 1 chaos. Probably should like remove them from the filter, but I think my filter is already pretty strict, so you're not going to see a lot of Scarabs. But if you see the Scarab, usually it will have a quite decent price. And for the T17, we got 18 of them, pretty good. And for the Jungle Valley, T16.5 is we only got 13, but since this is T16.5 normal, you can just buy it. I put 50C here because I think that's like the average price of it. And this is like the T16.5 other map. I do not put price on this one because I don't know how much it's going to sell. I don't want to bother like to price check all of them because there's a lot of variant of them, so I just leave them 0. Obviously, you can still sell this one. And for the puzzle box, we got 9 Faldo and we got 4 Reliquary Key and 1 Enlighten. And for the currency, this is basically the highlight of it because we are focused more on the currency. So we got 24 Divine, which is quite a lot compared to the previous one. We only have 15. Right now we have 24. 16 Exalt, 7 Annul. As you can see, we got a lot of like high tier currency, right? So this strat really focus on currency. Unfortunately, I do not get any secret orbs. I also do not get any lock. I think lock is pretty rare. We got quite a lot of chaos, 780. Quite some fusing, chromatics. Like some people probably questions like why you still picking up chromatic, why you still picking up fusing and alterations. They sell really fast. Like this one and this fusing can worth like few hundred chaos. This chromatic can worth for a few hundred chaos. Like this is like 1 or 2 divine each, and you drop like a shitload of them. So I don't know, why not picking up? Especially alteration sells really fast. And also for the currency, we got some of them. We got like 14. And the distribution is pretty equal, 4, 5, 5. So for the profit, we are 32 divine per hours, and this is because I put 6 minutes on the average. Obviously, the average probably less than 6 minutes. 6 minutes is like probably for a long maps. And if the map is like not, because you're not going to have like the full lane every single time, so the range of the map time is around 4 to 6 minutes. It's really depending on, but I will just put 6 here just for the conservative value, and this basically gives the 32 divine per hours. Obviously, if you have a good gear, you will be able to do it faster. Your divine per hour will be a lot more, and 3 divine per maps, I think it's pretty good. So that's basically the result from the test, and now let's talk a little bit about the strat itself. So this strategy is really difficult, and the reason why it is difficult is because it requires a build that basically have everything. You need to have coverage, you need to have damage, you also need to have like defense, and you also need to do all mode because we are using setup of risk. So that's why the strategy is really difficult. I see a lot of people talking about like the screen flickering, I like the server lag. I mean, the server lag, you cannot do anything about it. I mean, it's a lag from the server, and from what I see, the server itself cannot handle it if you have too many monsters inside the maps. Or like in one area, for example, like Blight, like you're going to spawn a lot of mobs. So the only way to mitigate the flickering is not about your hardware. I mean, of course you will need a decent amount of hardware, but there's a limit to that one. And I do Blight for a very long time, and this problem is not just specifically on this strategy. If you do Blight Ravage, Blight map, or even like normal Blight on the map, if you let the Blight monsters spawn and you're not killing them, your screen will start to flicker. You will start to have lags. And the best way to mitigate that from all the time I playing Blights is to keep the Blight monsters as minimum. And that's the reason why I said that you will need a build that have a good DPS and also good coverage. And for example, like this build that I play, usually it will use Might, but I change it into the Lightning Strike because I need the coverage. Lightning Strike just have like, I can basically damage full screen. With Smite, I cannot really do that, and the coverage from the Lightning Strike is really needed for the build to be able to do this strategy. So I changed my main skill into Lightning Strike so I can do this strategy properly. And if you keep the monster at like the minimum number, your screen will not flicker and you will not have lags. The problem with that strategy is there will be some factor that you cannot control. For example, server lag. If you play it, you killing stuff all around, and you being active, you walk around, kill the monster, like try to keep their number at minimum, and you disconnect it. I mean, when you come back, and there's already bunch of them already spawn, and I mean, what are you gonna do, right? There's a factor that you cannot really control, but from all the time that I play Blight, that's the best way to deal with it. Just keep the Blight monster at minimum, and you'll be fine. And the last tip for the strategy is if you do the strategy and like for some reason, let's say that you already do well and you get disconnected, when you come back, things basically getting hectic and you start to getting lag, and you cannot move, you cannot see anything. So basically, rather than keep entering portal and burn your portal out and basically fail and you do not get anything, sometimes you need to know when to stop and just let the Blight go and basically just take whatever loot you get from there. Even if you not full clear the Blight, it still drop a decent amount of loot. And for the Scarabs, you can change the blooming with Bloodline. The result is not as good as blooming, but I think it's pretty close. But Bloodline is a lot easier because you're not dealing with Blight boss. That's what option you can go for if you do not want to do blooming, but I just don't see the reason why I want to use Bloodline because Bloodline is more expensive than blooming and it gives less. So I think that's all I have for you today. So as usual, if you guys have any questions, leave it in the comment below. I will try my best to answer it. And like and subscribe for the algorithms. And thank you everyone for watching. And I will see you in the next one.